Welcome to part 2 of the hot takes. I searched the depths of the internet to find more people who either have a warped mindset or are just too woke for the rest of us. Now if you missed part 1, you can watch it after this one, don't worry. As usual, I'll start with a hot take of my own. The fight versus the rats could have been infinitely better if some things were done differently. They essentially had no prior setup. Half-blood Vitra that are assumed to be stronger than the sites that are made to scare the Asura, the full-blooded Asura. They're a team whose chemistry and synergy puts Tess's team to shame. Cool, but they literally just pop out of nowhere and die in 2 chapters, with 0 setup and 0 internal monologues. Let's characterize them a bit before incinerating them. Chapter 394 has Ceres informing Kara of the rats and who or what they are and how they got wiped out, but we needed that little discussion before Arthur saw them. Literally rewrite chapter 394 and replace it with 391 and I'll be fine. Who knows, maybe the final version of the book will do better. But from the way Ceres spoke, I would have been surprised if there were only 5 of them in total, so I expect we can see more of them, I'm sure. Now let's start with the harmless one. I like Ellie's POV chapters. Okay, see, I knew people were going to like it, only if Arthur is mentioned. Well, fuck. Cecilia ruined Nico and Gray's lives. Well, this is kind of subjective, I feel. It's like, if someone pushes everyone around them away because they know their life is complicated, would you still blame them if people force her to open up and get hurt in the process? Nico and Gray wanted to help her of their own will. They were not forced to, so Cecilia is not to blame for them getting entangled with her issues. That's how I see it. Now, still on Cecilia, she can be the most terrifying person in TBATE if she wishes it. I kinda agree with this fully because she feels like one of those characters that makes Arthur feel normal. Yes, it's a story, but she breaks everything and the world loves her and bends to her will, but the issue with her is probably one of lack of self-worth and not wanting to fully embrace who she is or who she can be. So yeah, if she just says fuck it and lets herself be, she will be unstoppable. And I don't even think she needs to have control over either for that to happen. Nico x Kara? At least that's what I think this person's trying to say. He starts by saying Nico is a normal looking dark haired boy who was deeply scarred by a much stronger mage Agrona and is Harry Potter. Cecilia looks a bit like Hermione in her first life, and if he and Tess get together, then Arthur is Ron with the ginger hair. The fun part is, guess who Nico ends up with in this analogy? Hence, she has 2 bodyguards. I think I need to reread Harry Potter if we want to talk about a cursed pairing. How do you all feel about Baron and Melzi? I think they had some chemistry, you know. Kara is a literal fan service character who provides nothing to the story other than following MC around because brother died. Now I was going to say people who dislike Kara are usually Tess fans, but this person roasted Tess before saying this, saying she's a walking plot device and never has decent character development. And I already ranted about Tess before, so I'm not going to do that here. But I want to know, did a bunch of you also see Kara as a fan service character? Like, what has she done that the other ladies in the story haven't? If anything, for me, Teldomi missed the opportunity with fan service with Aya, even though he leaned into it a bit, but not Kara. If a character does something with no motive or reasoning, people get mad. If they get a reasoning, it's not good enough. Did you hate Alaric for being intrigued by Arthur as well? The woman in TBATE can never catch a break. Now speaking of the woman in TBATE, this person says Kara should have been a guy rival to Arthur. He does make some good points that he doesn't like how all the hot girls befriend Arthur and could fall for him and would like someone to not get carried by Arthur in terms of strength. I'll get to the woman thing later, but in terms of strength, TBATE has always made it a point to prove that no matter how strong Arthur is, there's always currently someone stronger than him and it feels like he's climbing a ladder. Now if you want someone at his level, wait till Nico joins the good guy side again. Now as far as gender swapping Kara, I just think that would have made things a bit weird because it was always Art and Tess, then Art and Sylvie. Then guess what? Sylvie was replaced temporarily by Regis, a guy. Now Kara as a dude just won't work with that dynamic. If it makes you feel any better, she masqueraded as a guy for a little bit till she got caught, so at least he got a bit of that. One of the reasons people like Kara is because of her boobs. I believe it's called pretty girl privilege. It happens in our world too. Worst part of the TBATE fandom are Kara strippers. I don't mind them as much as I dislike the Tess haters, to be honest, but they're neck and neck. The last Kara take is, I don't understand why people like Kara so much. She's a cool character and all, but in my eyes she's kinda like a Mary Sue, not exactly perfect, but she has no flaws either. In the chapters of her POV, there's nothing really that tells me about her personality. Her inner monologue is like she's reading the story along with us and not exactly living in the world. Her presence, while welcome, isn't exactly necessary to drive the story forward. Now, if there's anything Kara has, it's flaws. I'm failing to understand how she is a partial Mary Sue. I'll just give you one flaw, for example, hypocrisy. Or let me add another one. She's a good judge of character, but her loyalty to her family was fickle and easily shattered by a stranger. So she's, I wouldn't say she's not loyal, but her allegiance is not strong. Now if you consider these things to not be flaws, then I guess your statement is true. And I think personally that her presence was key to learning about the world and how the royalty operate. Now I'm not saying she's perfect, but her presence definitely drove the story forward and is still doing that. Ray was the best parent in the series. Lances are overrated. Ray really was a real one. Rest in peace. You and your shitty magic will be missed. The Lances are honestly not overrated. At the time we met them, they did feel like they had all the hype they got prior. However, the issue is that the retainers and sights are made to be too strong. Uto defeating Alea that early is what spelled a disaster for them, because we knew from Winsome that there were more people above Uto. So if it kept going like that, they will get obsolete. Considering the rats exist, I would have preferred the sights and retainers in a pair were like 20% stronger than the lances, so if a lance fought both of them and pushed themselves, it would be a close battle. Kinda like how Arthur always fights with a companion. I think the power scaling in the story is busted. Well, yeah. Okay, now this is a this is a hot take. Don't know if I'm the only one who thought this, but I think TBATE should have a harem ending. This man wants to maximize all the women introduced in the story. I like that. Now onto the harem protagonist. Gray is significantly more interesting than Arthur. I think I like this take. For me, Gray just seems more savage. And I recall thinking that Arthur with Realm Heart and everything had better battles, but with each rune and edict of ether that he gains insight to, I feel Gray will have the best battles. Arthur isn't Ashura level. So apparently some people think that Arthur is Ashura level after taking out Cadell. I want to smoke what they got over there. Nico hating Gray is justified. Yes, Nico hating Gray is indeed justified, but it also seems to be rooted in a deeper inferiority complex that he had before things even got this bad, and I shall elaborate on that in the Nico video after I finish book 10. Current Arthur strength. Okay, so for here, just pause it and read this fucking essay, but I kind of forgot what version of Gray this dude was talking about, so I'm just sit this one out. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you have in the 1v1? Gray or Realm Heart Stage 3 Arthur? That's a funny fight. Alder should have done a lot more than just be sacrificed. Let's have another moment of silence for the man Alder who challenged his leaders because he wanted to stay true to his own philosophy. And extra silence for me because I got spoiled on this. Now, that's it for the hot takes I have for today. This was kind of fun to make and confusing at the same time. But please let me know what other kind of videos you want me to make. That's it for today, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.